You want to give me a word? You want to have me give you one word that describes Natalia to me? Enigma. She won't tell us the truth of who she is. We are living with a con artist sociopath.
Now a story making headlines around the world. Is this a child or a grown woman?
The Barnetts believe the adoption was a scam all along.
They claim they were tricked into adopting an adult.
She's evil. I promise you, within 5 years, someone's dead.
What is it? Why?
She threatened to stab my sons, drag their bodies outside, and bury them under the deck. She tried to poison and kill my wife.
Bye-bye. She said, I pulled a knife on my parents. Big deal.
It's like a serial killer or something. It's how casually they put attempted murder into a conversation.
She's gonna kill everybody.
You've adopted a kid and now they're trying to kill you. I mean, it's the stuff of a horror movie, right?
If you watch The Orphan, it's just like The Orphan.
Did you want to hurt him? It's all going to come to light.
She was an adult. You could tell by looking at her.
Natalia was a victim. The Barnetts are the predators. They just literally left her to the wolves.
I don't know that there's 100% one villain here.
She basically said that Natalia destroyed their lives.
We're in deep, deep trouble.
Regardless of her age, she was left feeling abandoned and neglected, alone.
Natalia was a child. I know that for sure because I'm a little person.
I think Christine Barnett is a sorry excuse for a mother.
Natalia, you still need to be on your wall.
When I found out what happened to her, that was what broke my heart the most.
There were a lot of secrets in that house.
His minimum sentence is 3 to 16 years.
It doesn't smell right. There's something wrong. Oh, it smells like shit.
Do you know the difference between the truth and a lie?
I didn't at the time, no.
No,
I was just listening to what Christine told me to tell them.
You just don't know true Barnetts.
There was domestic violence.
They'll do anything to get what they want.
There were all these pieces to a puzzle that we couldn't quite put together.
You're saying you lied because she told you to lie.
Yes.
Michael and Christine not only lied to get her into their family, but they also lied to get rid of her.
This is one of the most twisted cases ever.
I know he's not the kind of guy that could do well if he had to go to prison.
You got a seatbelt? Buckle up.
I don't think anyone will ever get the complete truth.
So much of this is a mystery.
I still don't have concrete answers. Somebody's not telling the truth.
It is a web of lies.
I'm not sure you can trust anybody in this case.
We were all fucking abused. We were all abused.
So scared. This will never stop.
What a way to start. Well, I got things playing in the background, everything else. Good morning, Mrs. Dreds.
Good morning.
This is Morning with the Dred.
Sorry.
But no, thank you for joining me. Don't have a guest, didn't line anything up. Pretty lax. It didn't really do anything when it came
None.
When it came to this show in particular. Good morning, Facebook user. State your
Whoever
name,
you are.
sir or madam. Huh?
Said whoever you are.
Whoever you are. This is Mornings with the Dred.
You know, I can go in the other room.
No, the mic won't pick you up out there. Yeah, we really don't have anything scheduled. It was kind of a last minute. That's what the video that we played right after that badass intro done by our good friend Tony over there, Gorehounds of Horror. Hi, Ray. Good morning. It was kind of a last minute thing.
Yeah. Way last minute.
Ray said I did watch that a whole documentary and it was totally twisted. It is. I did not get a chance to watch it all. Maybe you should have been on the show.
I watched none. None.
Oh,
None of it.
your sister. Oh, it's my sister Tanya. Okay. Well, all
Hi,
these Facebook
Tanya.
users pop up. Ray didn't say that. I did. Sorry, Ray, Tanya. I can't tell. It's just a bunch of Facebook users. So.
Oh my, maybe
What?
Maybe you should put your glasses on.
It doesn't matter. It's still going to say Facebook user. It doesn't come up their actual name because they're watching on Facebook. If they were watching on YouTube, it may come up because I see Mr. Nanners there. Good morning, Mr. Nanners, by the way. It said YouTube had an error, so I don't know. That popped up during that clip. So I'm not sure what's going on there.
Probably copyrighted you.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, so didn't really have anything, planned. I started watching this documentary after you went 99.
Yeah, I know.
I woke up and I was like, all right, I gotta put something. I started eating cereal out of the box. I guess typical stoner type stuff.
You hadn't hit a not lit cigarette.
Oh, everything looks great from here, Mr. Nanner says, and he is viewing on YouTube. So yeah, it just popped up when I asked because Mr. Nanners mentioned, he said this looks fake. When I was playing the video. So Mr. Nanners, if you could please elaborate on that in the chat. But yeah, I was watching this and oh my goodness. I'm about to set my fucking dreads on fire. How do you view on YouTube? You go to you go to YouTube and and you type I don't have one of the fancy URLs yet. So you go and just search Night of the Living Dreds and you can go to the channel. It'll be right there. I could probably get you the link.
Are you just stalling?
Hey, I gotta fill up an hour here, Jody, and I'm really and I'm unprepared and I'm talking and I'm trying to get loose here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us. It's a great show. So yeah, do it that way. Where was I?
You haven't even got into the story yet.
I know I haven't because I got things that I gotta talk about first. And I'm not sure what they are. The documentary looks like a parody of other documentaries. Yeah, you would think. I can understand that because the guy,
he's a whack job.
The Michael, man, he is just, I don't know,
over dramatic.
He's very over dramatic, man. When you watch this, I mean, it's a true story. There are mugshots, so yeah. I don't know, Mr. Nanners. Too early. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock here. What time is it elsewhere? I'm trying to stall and I'm trying to show off my cup.
You're stupid.
I am. So where are we at? What's going on? All right, here we go.
See, that's where it goes. You say you're taking the lead for me to just drill on your coattails.
That didn't work very
That's
well.
not
did it?
doing no.
No, it's not working. All right. Well, let's get. I got something to get into even before we get into this story.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We all like comedies. Comedies are good, right? Horror comedies.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say your favorite all-time horror comedy, or maybe a movie that you consider horror? Do we consider a movie like Clue a horror? There is murder in it. It's more of a comedy. I don't really think you could put that as a horror comedy, but
That's up there, and probably Murder by Death.
Murder by Death. Would you consider that? Is that a horror comedy? It doesn't really have the horror aspect to it.
And Tucker and Dale's up there.
Okay, yeah, that's probably one of my favorite. Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun
was
of
a good
the
one.
Dead's a really good one. Cannibals versus
Zombielands. All the
Zombielands
Zombielands
are
good.
yeah, they're horror comedies. So got a list of 10 here. The most 10 rewatchable horror comedies of all time.
Okay.
All fucking time. That's a long time.
What am I telling you? If I agree?
Well, we'll just throw them out there, and I mean, I don't think they're in any particular order. If they are, we're starting with number 10 and just working our way down. I guess they're doing it that way. Yes, Shaun of the Dead. I don't know if it's You Can't Find Me there on YouTube. Sorry. You watch on Facebook. So let us know in the chat what you think. Number 10 is actually from 2010, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. So they have these in order. This is the 10th one. So
I agree. It should be a little higher.
I would say so. I would say so too. We all know what that movie's about. Number 9, Scary Movie from 2000.
Never really got into the scary movies.
They're corny, and
they're more parodies.
Yeah, they are. They are. Yeah, it's like a parody. Well,
that's what it's supposed to be.
Scream is, in a sense, like that too, but on a more serious, level. So number 9, number 8, Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day is a good movie.
Was that? Yeah, that kind of had some. That had some comedy in it. Yeah. The Babyface Killer, Rob Mello. We hung out with him at the convention. Unique individual there. Good guy. Number 7, Zombieland, as we mentioned, the first one. Number 6, Villains from 2019. Not really familiar with this one. Says spinning the home invasion genre on its head, Villain revolves around a pair of amateur criminals who break into a house with the intention of robbing the couple, only to realize the couple themselves are much more sinister than they look. Okay, I can get the premise of that I can see where the humor would come in. Beetlejuice comes in at number 5. So it's got to get better than Beetlejuice from here. And it kind of does. Army of Darkness. It's our grandson's favorite.
Yeah.
Good old Zane, he loves it. Yeah. Walks around with a boomstick in his
shirt.
Yeah. He loves it. Number 3, What We Do in the Shadows.
Never seen it.
I've never
heard a lot
seen
about
this
it, but I've never
either.
seen it.
This is from 2014.
A lot of people say it's hilarious.
Well, that's at number 2, Shaun of the Dead. And the number 1, One Cut of the Dead.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of this. 2017, one of the most criminally underrated zombie comedies of all time. It perfectly encompasses the behind-the-scenes effort that goes into filmmaking. The film stars Starts off following a hack director who maneuvers his disgruntled crew to make a low-budget zombie film only to be attacked by real-life zombies. That does sound quite funny. Looks like we have our work cut out for us, Mrs. Dreds. No comment there?
No comment.
No comment.
We got a lot to do today.
We do have a lot to do today. We have a game night. We are playing some horror trivia. I got
Are we gonna play horror trivia?
Are
we gonna play horror trivia?
We have some people in the chat. We can play some horror trivia. The main character in Shaun of the Dead played Scotty in the new Star Trek.
Huh.
Listeners are full of useless bits of information.
It's always good though.
And I can't give anyone credit for this because they're all Facebook users. And I have my glasses on. Zombieland with Woody is not a good day of zombie killing without a freshly made Twinkie. Yeah. You got that right. Simon Pegg, yes. Simon Pegg was he played Sean.
Oh, okay.
All right. Definitely going to need my glasses for this one. Let's get into a little bit of this case of Natalia Grace Barnett. Happened in Indiana. This couple, Michael and Christine Barnett, they take, and apparently, 2010, they really hit a good point in their life. He in this and that clip, there's clips that you've seen from or that I played in the beginning, that all comes from an ID documentary, docuseries that you can watch. I think it's like 6 parts. And it caught my attention late at night. And anyway, in 2010, this family, Michael and Christine Barnett and their 3 boys, oldest boy has a form of Asperger's, I believe. Did you hear? I hope nobody heard my stomach grumbling. Oh my goodness. Talk about zombie land. So they decide, they're doing well. I mean, he was like, yeah, we had hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. And I mean, just bragging. I had 14 couches, 8 TVs. For one, why do you need 14 fucking couches? Where do you put 14 couches?
Fuck if I know.
I mean, how many rooms in a house? I mean, their house, I think they did have a house that was like, I don't know, in the millions. They had a big place, if I'm not mistaken.
And they lived in Indiana?
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
I guess. That wealth didn't roll over into
big location.
Into Ohio. But they were doing well. And decided that, they were going to adopt and give a child a loving home, and one with a disability. Christine worked with disabled children. And that so they went that route. And they came across, as he describes it in the docuseries. Are you in a daze there?
I'm listening.
Oh, okay. You're just like kind of staring off.
I'm
just want to
listening
make
to
sure you ain't gonna fall out on me in the middle of the show.
Just listening.
So as Michael describes going to this place, which I'm thinking, all right, if you have this much reservation about going to this place because of the way it looks, he was like, oh, it was on the wrong side of the tracks, and it was in a strip mall. The adoption agency was in a strip mall. It didn't look like a what an adoption agency would look like. And he's expressing all of these concerns he has about, what this place looks like.
But yet still
But
goes
yet
there.
still goes there. I think they met. I think I want to say the previous foster parents of Natalia, like, brought her. They had set up a meat location, and from what he says, they just dropped them off and ran.
Yeah, just kind of shoved her
And
off
just
on 'em.
kind of shoved them off and said, "Okay, pretty much your fucking problem now." Okay. And being that it is, I gotta hold on. I gotta put my my little there's Dave the stoner up there in the corner in his tie-dye onesie, letting everyone know there's explicit content. I had to let everybody. I mean, it is early in the day. You don't know, young ears.
I just think it's funny that it took you this long.
This long. How many
to put it up
F-bombs did
there.
I drop already? Anywho, where was I at?
You were talking about
Good morning
the
and welcome to
foster
the show. Huh?
about the foster parents just kind of
Yes,
dropping her
yeah,
off.
they just kind of dropped them off. So they thought that was kind of weird. They got she apparently come from a orphanage in the Ukraine, and she suffered from dwarfism
And other issues.
and a lot of other issues. She was crippled. I mean, she had, like, she walked all kind of funny and everything. I mean, kind of sad that, to have to live like that. And they said everything was good for about a week, I think, is what they said. It didn't take long before things started to seem not good. And that started when Christine was given her a bath. It could have been within the first few days. I mean, how long do you wait to give the child a bath? Wait a week to warm her up? I don't know.
I think it said the first few days.
First few days. She gives her a bath. She freaks out. Michael runs in there, and this 7-year-old girl, which is what the Ukrainian birth records show, okay, that she was 7, has pubic hair. And you're like, what the world's going on here? I mean, young girl. So Michael starts Googling, starts checking it out. And, he says, it is possible for girls as young as, like, around 8. Okay. And I don't know, maybe boys too. It was just girls because that's what we're talking about. So, yeah, right around 8 is what he's saying. So he's thinking, oh, well, this is kind of odd, but okay, maybe it's possible. Maybe it's just a weird case. She does have all these other issues. Who knows? Maybe she'll have a beard next week. Who knows? Could I look any more like my dad in those glasses? Yeah, probably not. Thank you, Tanya. So they kind of let that one slide. It's not until they find out that, hey, she's having her period. What do you do with that now? I don't think you can, give it the whole, oh, well, she, it could happen, like with the pubic hair. Okay.
No, it couldn't. Some girls start their periods early.
What? I don't think it's 7 years old, 8 years old. I mean, I've heard it pretty young. So they're automatically thinking, all right, something is up. And it only gets crazier from there, because Michael and Christine claim that all of a sudden she just started acting weird. And it was like once they once the whole period thing came out and the pubic hair thing came out, they said she kind of changed. She got this. She didn't have. They said at times, she would have that little kid look to her. She said they said that was gone after. It was almost like she knew the jig was up. And this comes from the perspective that this little person, who they think is in their late teens, early 20s, when they think they're adopting a 6-7-year-old, is conning them and is like a little dwarf serial killer. Is kind of where they're going, because they claim that Natalia tried to poison the mother, Christine, by putting Pine Sol in her coffee when she wasn't looking. They said that one day she seemed to be back to herself, because there were other incidents before that. I'm going way out of order. And so she was back to her happy self, wanted to help with dishes. So they pull up a chair. She gets up there. She's helping. The mother turns around to do something, or even walks out of the room. She dumps out a little bit of coffee and pours some Pine Sol in it. Well, of course, the aroma and the smell of it gave her away. So she apparently, according to Michael, would come right like, why did you do that? Because I'm trying to kill her. Seriously. I mean, like, this person is like just coming right out and saying, I'm going to kill her. I want to kill her. There was an instance where they heard a loud bang or something. They hop out of bed. Michael hops out of bed. And here's Carl. Welcome to the show, Carl. I don't know if you heard that, but welcome to the show, Carl. He says hello. There was a time where they heard a loud bang. They go into her room. He goes into her room, and she's just standing there. It's like, what are you doing? He was like, and she's like, I'm waiting for you to go to sleep, because she had told him previously that she was going to kill him in their sleep. This is all according to Michael. She obviously claims, no, this is not the case. This didn't happen. But that's kind of creepy. And as you heard in the little trailer there, it's almost directly like the movie Orphan.
Yeah.
Which I have not seen all the way through. I think I've started
seen
it. I think I've started it, but I don't think I've finished it. So there were other times where she had mentioned killing it always seemed to be directed towards Christine. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill you guys in your sleep. Then it turned to the boys, the 3 boys. I'm gonna kill the 3 boys and put their bodies on the back porch or some shit.
You look at the shit they did to her in some of the videos and stuff. You can play devil's advocate on both. That
you really can.
I mean, come on now. They paid her bills and they got her Social Security after they had the court deem that she was 22 instead of 7,
right.
Well, 8 at the time. So they get her disability and stuff for her, and then they pay her rent for a year and stuff. Well, I mean, isn't there tests and stuff that they can run that would prove her actual age? Because, I mean, I see it in the fact that if she truly is, because her mother comes out and says that this is my daughter. She was born in 2003.
Yeah.
And stuff. I mean, and then they pay her rent for a year, and then they up and move to Canada.
Right.
They move out of the country to be with their sons, and then leave her all on her own. And I mean, having to fend for herself. And I mean, if she is an 8-year-old, you mean to tell me that because a court deemed her 22?
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically, I think the only thing that they're going to go on is the records from the orphanage, the Ukrainian birth records. They have the birth records. Would be the same thing as
Yeah,
getting your
it's
birth
stating that
records.
she was born in 2003.
Yeah, exactly.
But they got a court to deem that she and change her age to 22.
Yeah, saying she was born in 89 versus 2003.
So does that mean I can take Zane to court and be like, okay, I think he's just a little guy and that he's like 25 years old.
He's a little person.
Can I change his birth? I mean, I am his grandmother, so I know how old he is.
Take him to the bar.
And just shoo him out on his own.
Move him out, you know. Yeah, it was like they completely just sidestepped the court, just completely sidestepped, and the judge. They did. I got like 5 articles up here, and I don't know which one. Is the one that I'm looking for, that I'm thinking about. But so I'm guessing they only go they're only really looking at, well, all they should look at really is Ukrainian birth records. And you mentioned the mom. I want to read through a little bit of this article. The biological mom of adopted child, Natalia Grace, who was legally re-aged after it was determined she was a 22-year-old woman. But how did you determine that? You know, I don't understand how you determine that. Well, she's kind of, spoken out about her daughter's real age. Natalia Grace was adopted by Michael and Christine Barnett back in 2010, believing she was a 6-year-old child with a rare bone growth disorder. Well, she had all kinds of disorders, accompanying the dwarfism. Over time, okay, that's, a judge determined that she was an adult woman aged 22 years old. How do you determine that? I don't really know. We find out that Natalia was re-aged by a judge in 2012 after the Barnetts filed a motion in Marion County Court to have her age corrected to something more appropriate. What?
Just guesstimating how old she is. Like, let's just give her to this age.
Yeah. Okay. Now I can see that it's Tanya. She found this on YouTube. They can tell by bone density and other things, same way they age skeletal remains. I agree. Absolutely. I watched enough true crime, and they can tell. They can give a good composite of what this person looked like, even through some of the, the worst, stages of decomposition, or if it's just skeletal remains. They can do that. Why couldn't they figure out how old? Maybe with the bone growth disorder, it made it difficult. Maybe that would played an issue. I don't know, but I agree. Yeah, they should be able to tell that. Where am I at here? Okay. The judge had a petition prepared by an attorney that would lay out the arguments for why this person is not the age they believe she is. She is actually an adult. Nobody knows quite what age, but she has not grown in 4 years. This is the argument of why they think she's an adult. She hasn't grown in 4 years. Which they're trying to say, okay, she reached the stage in life where you stop growing.
Okay, but she's got other elements.
But she has bone growth issues, which means she may stop growing, but she's a dwarf. She has dwarfism.
Yeah.
Okay. She's a little person. What do you expect her to, how tall do you expect her to grow? So the judge came up with his own little formula. Well, if you stop growing at 18, if she hasn't grown in 4 years, then she's at least 18 when she entered their lives. I'm going to add 4 years. He said, okay, I find you 22. Case dismissed.
Wow.
That's how that works. I don't want to be 50 anymore. I like to re-age myself to where I feel that my brain is. So Otis B. Dreds is now 3.5 years old.
I thought you were going to give yourself at least 15.
No, I'm going all the way back to 3.5. I only want to wait 6 months for my 4th birthday party.
You threw me for a loop on that one.
Yeah, I'll do that sometimes. So that's how that worked. Now,
you want to hear something funny?
Yes, I do.
Is that really makes? Remember when I told you that kid coming to work was talking to his mom about changing his birth date?
Yeah.
That really makes it.
Wow. Remind me about that. Tell us about that.
Oh, I just said the whole thing.
Oh, well, that was an intense story. Thank you, Jody. Well. All right. If you watch this documentary in episode 5, Anna Gava, I guess that's how you pronounce his name, her biological mother, throws us a greater curveball in episode 5. She's interviewed by police as part of a neglect of a dependent case against Michael Barnett and Christine Barnett, and is required to prove she is the birth mother via DNA test. So there were charges brought upon Michael and Christine for neglect of a dependent. There was, I think, a total of 8 charges they were facing. Then 3 years after proving they are related in some fashion, they're saying, I guess, parent, this is her mother. She explains how herself was born in 1979. Are we going to argue that? She knows her own birthday, I'm pretty sure. Before revealing her daughter's date of birth. She was born on September 4th, 2003. She was born at 6:25 a.m. in the maternity hospital number 1. She is my biological daughter. Okay. Why is that not good enough? You have her birth records from the Ukraine. You have her Ukrainian mother telling you this is her birthday. This is where she was born.
They can prove it.
This is the time. Look at the records. They all align like the stars. But yet this judge just willy-nilly, well, you're 18 when you stop growing. Thank you there, Bill Nye, the science guy. With this ridiculous 3-year-old formula.
And an average person.
And an
She's
average
not
person.
Average.
Exactly. So I'm on the side of believing she was a child.
I'm swaying that way too.
I'm kind of swaying that way. I'm just going to go by the fact that these birth records, because they tried to say she wasn't even Ukrainian. She wasn't even from the Ukraine.
Because she didn't understand.
Because she didn't understand that native tongue, because they brought somebody in, a woman who does speak that, Ukrainian.
Well, they talk about one of the charges being brought up against them is because of child abuse and harm that was caused due to this child.
Right.
Okay. You're trying to prove all this stuff, saying that she's an adult and not a child and that she's not Ukrainian and stuff. But then you bring a stranger in to talk to her. Any child at that age, if they've experienced any kind of trauma, you bring somebody new in like that, there's a good possibility they're not going to talk.
They're probably not going to talk whether they understand what the hell you're saying or not. Yeah,
I mean, our
absolutely.
kids, we know they know English, and we have blatantly had a full conversation, and they look at us like we ain't said a word.
God, that right.
So,
Jesus. Yeah, hell, you do it to me. I do it to
I was
you.
like, you do it to me daily.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because they bring this woman in who speaks that fluently, and just she didn't come in and speak English at first. She just come in and started blurting out whatever, in Ukrainian. And they said, well, she didn't recognize anything. She can't be that, from there. Those records are fake.
No, maybe she's just not talking.
Yeah. So I'm going to sway and say that, to the side of, yeah, I think she was a child when they got her. Which now goes into how fucked up in the head are this family, which, mind you, are not together anymore.
Right. They have divorced.
They divorced the oldest son with Asperger's. He lives with his dad in the basement. They're divorced. The other two boys have virtually wrote their dad off. The marriage was not as hunky dory and rainbows and sunshines and kitty cats as everybody thought. They held a lot of secrets. They had a lot of shit going on with them. And domestic violence, as you've seen,
Punch on the floor.
Man, that he just turned out to be kind of a whack job to me. I mean,
I said, I just don't understand the fact if she did all this wrong shit to this family and stuff, why would they then help her get disability and stuff like that,
right.
and then pay her rent for a year in an apartment? I mean, if someone did that shit to me, I'm sorry, I can't say that I would pay their rent for a year for.
Well, and some say, well, how did she get an apartment?
Yeah.
How did they co-sign for her? How did she get an apartment? There was a brief encounter with an older lady who lived in the apartment building. And she was, I guess, her mother was in the car. They bought her groceries. Mother would not get out of the car to help her with the groceries. She had to carry all the groceries in. And this older lady, I'm guessing, I think it was a senior, and, was like, are you okay, sweetheart? You need help? Where's your mother? And, she told her she was in the car with the older lady, helped her get, the groceries, in the car. I don't understand the whole apartment thing. And is that the only reason, so here you got this girl whose mother says no. At that time that all this was going on, she was maybe like, what, 9, 10 years old?
Yeah.
All right. And then when she's, thrown into an apartment
by herself,
after a judge just says, no, I'm going to do this, this 5-year-old math for you, and I'm gonna break it down like this, she's got to be 22 years old. So there you go. And it even shows a little picture, Indiana ID card, date of birth 9/4/89. They kept it September 4th. How did they come up with that date?
Yeah.
This family, I believe, was just hell bent on the fact that she was lying, or that she was lying about her age, I guess. There was also a electrical fence issue problem. Did you come across that?
Yeah,
in that
where
article I
they
sent
said
you?
that
She tried to
push her into it.
Yeah, and they make her out to be like the fucking Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Michael in this in this documentary, which I would recommend you guys checking it out if you're into it, because we're just kind of brushing the surface here, like always. It's called Not Preparing for a Show. I haven't even checked the any of the chats. Oh, good morning, kid. Check the rhyme. Bust a rhyme. 1 2 1 2. Good morning to you. How does one prove their own birth? Well, the fact that I'm sitting here, I think proves that I was born.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had discussed that earlier, kid. That I think the only way that they can say, okay, well, this child is this old by birth records from wherever this child was born, which happened to be apparently in the Ukraine, unless somebody went through the elaborate, plan to forge some documents saying she was born in the Ukraine. Not sure what the point of that would be, but yeah, I just through documents, state approved documents. That would be the only way that and then the birth mother coming out and saying, yeah, I gave birth to her. Okay. She said the childbirth was difficult as well, very difficult. When I regained consciousness after anesthesia, the next day the doctor came and said there's no sense to take her home. They said that she won't be able to walk at all, and she will be of very short stature. They said a surgery would cost $100,000, and since you don't have such finances, you also have an older daughter. I already had Julia at the time, and Natasha came after her. She brought me a sample of the waiver on the paper, and I had to write 5 copies of it. Don't know what the hell that means. I didn't initially want to leave her, but the doctor said there's nothing you could do for her. You were so young, they said. You were 24 years old. Don't ruin your life. You will have other children. So she's in 2003. She was 24. I was just double checking everybody's age now. So she didn't want to, do this. She regrets listening to the doctors. She says, unpacking honest statements. Karis, I don't know who the hell that is. It's because I'm skipping all over the place. Says Anna was born in 1979, which means she would have to have been 10 years old if Natalia was born in 1989, as the courts ruled when they re-aged her.
Yeah.
A 10-year-old giving birth. I'm pretty sure they can determine whether or not that was the fucking case.
Yeah.
Because there would be some damage to
and
it.
She already had another kid.
And she already had another kid. Right. So she gave birth to that one when she was like 6, 7. Most kids are playing on the playground. She's out there popping babies out.
Well, apparently that would take care of the whole period and pubic hair thing. She's having kids at 6, 7 years old.
Right. So that's another thing. That's probably the big smoking gun, really, when it comes to just the whole being born at 89. Are we saying that this woman is Anna lying about her age too? So yeah, that doesn't make much sense really at all. If I would have prepared better, I would have had some other things, some other like videos. Court documents show that what reportedly happened to. Let's talk about this real quick. Court documents show the Barnetts claimed to have worked to get Natalia's social services and federal disability benefits. They also said in legal papers that they rented her an apartment in Lafayette, Indiana. After the lease ended in 2013, they helped relocate her to a new place in Lafayette and paid a year's worth of rent. That summer, the Barnetts reportedly left Natalia behind and moved with their biological sons to Ontario, Canada, where one was enrolled in college. According to the Journal and Courier, at the time, Natalia was, per Ukrainian birth records, 9 years old.
Yeah.
But in the eyes of the court, she was legally 23.
Yeah.
They dropped a 9-year-old
That's what I was talking
off.
about.
Yeah. Did the Barnetts get convicted of any crimes?
Nope.
Well, no. Over the years, the Barnetts, who eventually divorced, were charged with a total of 8 crimes, including neglect of a dependent causing bodily injury, neglect of a dependent causing serious bodily injury, and conspiracy to commit neglect of a dependent. As of March 2023, all of the charges against them were dismissed by the courts.
Yeah, it's probably the same judge that deemed her 22.
I know, right? So, I mean, needless to say, this is a pretty, it's a pretty interesting, case. Sad. Is this girl a victim of the Barnetts, or are the Barnetts a victim of this girl? Tanya states they only proved they were related. Maybe she's her sister, not her mother. I don't know. Just saying. I mentioned that as well, that they were just, I guess, pretty much assuming that.
I mean, she did say I gave birth to her.
I mean, yes. Where else do you go? You almost have to. I mean, it's almost like you kind of have to take their word for it. But this case, you trust no one. I mean, there's
ways they can prove that, though. There's
Uh-huh.
hospital records and stuff that can prove
Sure.
that. And she's telling them, look into this hospital. I'm telling you the
Yeah.
hospital that I gave birth to her at.
I believe her that she is the mother. But I said the same thing. What if it was just her sister or something? But I think you have to kind of I side with the mother on that, and which makes it even more horrible that the Barnetts would take it and okay, here's a year's rent. All right.
Yeah, you can live in. We'll rent you an apartment for a year.
Yeah.
And then we'll pay to relocate you. And
I'll even turn on Cartoon Network for you. There's chicken nuggies in the fridge.
Chalky milk.
Chalky milk. Oh, God. Got me all tied up. Maybe she lied to get rid of her, Tanya says. She's that evil. I'd like to get rid of her, too.
So who's to say that she's that evil, though? I mean,
Exactly.
who's to say that she did all this shit that they're claiming she did?
I got, I got my own opinion on this.
But yet they have they have video of her standing with her head against the wall and the mom being like, oh, you have to stand there longer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's torment. That's not punishment. That's abuse.
Right.
That's hard on your body. Any adult does it. They're going to claim how hard it is on their body. Then you're going to have a disabled little kid doing this. Come on now.
And think about it. That's exactly how when you get frisked, when you go into a holding cell, they make you put your head and lean. That way you're kind of off balance and it's easier for them to restrain you if you happen to get, so they put you in an awkward position, to take and, I guess, keep you under control. And they do the same thing. Hands behind your back and put your head on the wall, stand on this mark and put your head on the wall. So that's what that reminded me of. I don't know, man. This case is, I mean, that story is interesting. Like I said, I don't know about this Barnett family.
I don't either, because I mean, they move out of state to Canada once they had the 8 charges. They got dismissed.
Yeah.
So they move out of state to Canada because they knew eventually. I mean, if the truth is she is a little girl, they knew that it was eventually going to come out, and that them being up in Canada. But I don't know. Does Canada have?
I think
an
they can go up there
extradition?
and get it. Yeah, extradition. I think they can go up there and get them if need be. I mean, I don't know what's going on now. If you guys are interested in it, y'all do your own damn research. Start your own podcast. I'm such a dick this early in the morning.
You act like it's like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning.
I know, I do, don't I?
And you're 11.
Yeah, it is. 4 minutes till. When I say these fancy little cups, man, you can get your very own. Paige Sheldon Creations. You can go.
You get tumblers.
Tumblers. No extradition from Canada.
Oh.
Tanya says.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah.
So we don't have a treaty with them to extradite back.
Yeah. So they.
Nice.
Right. But anyway.
I know this is completely off topic, but
What?
did you know that Roman Polanski, that he was charged? I can't remember what the charge was. I want to say that it had to do with little kids. He was charged. He fled to, he was Italy or somewhere, and Stephanie's lived there ever since because they know that they're not an extradition country too, so they couldn't bring him back. But it was like hard stuff that he did. I was reading a thing on.
Yeah, you're right. That was way off topic. Although we haven't really had much of a topic. Tiny says, well, the draft dodgers went there, during the Vietnam era. They all went to Canada. What are you doing in Canada, man? But yes, you can Page here. I'll actually I'll put it in the chat here. Just search this into Facebook and Paige Sheldon Creations, Paige PAI. Yeah, I probably could have. Oh, look, bam! I could put it right there. Paige Sheldon Creations, and you can get your very own tumbler or just regular coffee mug to sip on your beverage in the mornings with the Dred.
Or in the afternoon.
Or in the
evenings.
afternoon, whenever you get to watch us, whenever you drink your coffee. $15 shipped. That comes right from the horse's mouth. And I know the horse because she's my daughter. So if you would like one, I got some that I'm getting ready to ship out now. Tumblers, whatever. Go over there, check out all the stuff that she
Tumblers are a little more expensive.
Tumblers are a little bit more. I think they are 25 shipped. So basically
very good quality.
Very good quality. I got all kinds of them. I don't have any in here to show off, but and here soon, good friend Sean Smithson over there at Smithson Handcrafted Wood. It's a long one, but he is me and him are talking, may have some other little merch, some coasters and to put your mug on. You see how that works? We have mugs and we have coasters because we care about your furniture, people. We care. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Dreds, for joining me on this kind of a last minute topic, but I think we did pretty good with it. I think we did pretty good. Like I said, if you're interested, man, you check it out. See what she's doing. I don't know. Guys, hang out.
Adopt her.
I'd hang out. Adopt her. I'd hang out. Well, you can't adopt her now. According to the judge, probably about my age. You don't know? She ages quick.
Wow.
Don't wow me. All right. Get the hell out of here. if you haven't as of yet, here the past couple of weeks, been doing a true crime show. My good friend Bobby, and we did one on the Delphi murders out in Indiana. I don't know what's in the water in Indiana. Probably the same shit that's in the water in Florida.
Getting ready to say the same thing.
And also yesterday we did one on Missy Beavers. That case that was out in North Texas, and that was a strange case, unsolved. You can check both of those out, man. Really interesting cases if you don't know about them already. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you, Mrs. Dreds.
Welcome.
And hey, we're out. Have a good Tuesday.